You're on mute.
Look at that. Look at that. I've been doing this for like 4 years and I still don't realize that I'm on mute. I apologize. Good evening, everybody. Sandra Shepard, host of Racing the Races. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been on, but this was an important conversation that I wanted to have today. So I was like, yep, I'm coming on. And y'all know I usually talk like politics and stuff like that, but I'm telling you, man, it's so depressing. I don't even know what to do. Like, I'm just like, I stopped watching the news because it was just messing with my spirit. Then I was like, okay, I'll read the news. And then I'm like, even reading the news is starting to mess with my spirit. So, I don't know. So we're not gonna talk too much government politics, but today I have Delvin King on because there's some things that's going on with the Broward County Public School system. Now, mind you, my last episode was about the Broward County Public Schools because there's an incident that happened at Blanche Ely High School where this young man was hurt by a coach. And it turns out that he had some history before, but he still ended up at that school doing some of the same thing. And, we just see that there's a lot of times where, our school board members and administrators, they don't seem to care about the kids as much anymore. So Mr. King was trying to put on an event and reserve some facilities. And then turns out something was going on to the point where he kind of exposed like a bigger problem that was going on with the school board. And so we just want to shed light on this and have a conversation about that. So Mr. King, introduce yourself to the audience and the floor is yours, sir.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Delvin King. I am the executive director and principal of Youth Under Construction. It's a private high school located in Pompano Beach. I'm a community man, so I fight for everything education-wise, and sometimes on the city level too as well. So I'm out here every day doing my thing. So that's pretty much about me.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that. We appreciate that work. And I have to tell you, so during the summer when we were doing the town halls about TPS and how it was revoked and how it was going to impact so much people in the community, Mr. King opened up his facility, provided like a group of students that we could provide the information to. It was an amazing experience. They were there. It was well needed. He really created, he's doing the work and making sure whatever information the people that he serves need, he gets it to them. And I'm telling you, we called him. He said, yo, when you want to come, we got you. Had the place, had the people, had the mics, and everything. So thank you so much. And I can attest to the good work that he's definitely doing in the community. So tell us what happened when you rented the gymnasium to event at a school.
Pretty much I have a high school and we was having our high school graduation ceremony. We rented out through a program called Facilitron. Facilitron is a program that manages all facility rentals, Broward County Public Schools. So anytime you want to rent facilities in Broward County Public Schools, you have to go through Facilitron. You make your payment, and it keeps track of all rentals, and it helps not to double book and have these type of issues. So I talked to the assistant principal, Mr. Spence, and he allowed us to come in on Friday night to set up for the graduation because he said there are no other events going on at Blanche Ely High School tomorrow. You can set up Friday, so you guys are good to go for your graduation ceremony, so you don't have to rush and set up Saturday. But I came by Saturday to find out that our stuff was moved for a basketball tournament. When I got on campus, there was no one there, no one but the basketball tournament. I looked for school employees. I looked for security, custodial staff. There was no one there that represented Broward County Public Schools at all.
Not even the people that were having the basketball event, or you just don't know.
Well, it was the people that was having the event was there, but the person that orchestrated it, Mr. JR, which he used to be the head basketball coach at Blanchard High School, he wasn't even there.
And
so
okay.
So he wasn't even there. So me and the lady that, if you've seen the video, me and the lady at the front got into it because I was asking her, why are you guys here? Why did y'all move all my stuff? And she said they have a basketball tournament. They paid. They already they had it. And I'm like, you couldn't have had it because Facilitron said I'm the only one with the permit. So you can't have the permit and me at the same time. So she called JR, and he eventually tried to make his way there. I called multiple administrators, and eventually the assistant principal, Mrs. Spence, came out to see what was going on. Because
did the assistant principal have any information about a basketball tournament happening at the school?
So he didn't have any information when he first got there because when he got there was supposed to be no tournament going on. The facilities was already rented out. So when he got there, he because I had already called BSO because my stuff was damaged. So BSO was already there recording, asking questions, trying to figure out what was going on. Mrs. Spence
Why
came
you call
out.
BSO? You call the police on the people?
Oh, of course. About my sign. My sign. That sign was, I think it was about $1,200 to make, and they damaged it. The whole sign was broken.
Okay.
Yeah, so I needed a police.
Did somebody get arrested behind this?
Not yet. Not yet. Okay. Currently, there is a active criminal investigation going on regarding this incident. So after Mrs. Spence came and explained that no one should be using the gym at this time. My graduation has already been paid for, it's set. And in mid-conversation, JR put the lady, which is Marcus McGee, that his organization, he has these basketball tournaments.
So, I'm familiar. My son did AAU, and I think we've been in participated in a couple of tournaments that they put on. Yes. I ain't gonna say that was at the school you talking about, but I'm just saying
they've been at schools across the district. So they've been orchestrated with schools across the district. So they called, and the lady said on the phone she paid, and she doesn't understand. She paid JR, which is the basketball coach. She paid him, and she doesn't understand why she can't have her event. And that from there, it opened the light that JR has been having these events at Blanchard High School off the record, and people have been paying him to use the facilities. So he's been using the facilities, pretty much illegally using the facilities. These people, they don't come with insurance, they don't come with police, they don't come with custodial staff and things of that nature. So,
and do you know how long that had been going on?
When we look back, because I had a long conversation with school board police, this has been going on for years. And I think it started at Boyd Anderson High School.
And nobody knew?
Nobody knew. Well, they knew. When it came down to it, once we looked at the cameras, we seen how long it went on at Blanchard High School. We reviewed cameras, and it even was to a point where the day of my graduation, it wasn't a school board employee that opened the school. It was JR, which is the basketball coach. He gave his keys to his son, which was a 12th grade student at the school, to open the school. So he went, and they seen him on camera opening the back gate. He opened the gym, and he moved him and some other students. They moved all my stuff and set it up for a basketball tournament. So again, that was another red flag against Blanchard High School. Blanchard High School has been passing out keys to students to allow them to come and set up, because JR was setting up another event at another school.
Another basketball tournament?
Yeah, at another school simultaneously. So there,
and the principal there didn't know about either, allegedly.
Allegedly, he don't know, but if it boils all down to it, a principal knows, supposed to know everything that goes on the campus. He or she is ultimately responsible for that school. No one should be able to come to your school, have a whole basketball tournament, and I'm talking about you're not talking about 20, 30 people. You're talking about over 100, 150 people.
over a couple of days,
Yeah.
all day, in the
All
morning
day.
until in the evening.
Yeah, because those tournaments be on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, the championship games are on Sunday.
Yes. So
Yeah.
there's no way that you can get away with this without someone knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And for years, no, not years.
No.
And a principal or an assistant principal or an AD or the athletic director, there's no way that you can't tell me that you don't know that your school is being used, because that's extra usage on, because at Ely the custodians had to always come in and clean the gym, and that stuff was never on the record. Why did they have to clean up all this garbage and stuff when it was never on the record that there was an event going on?
Okay, and so once you brought this to the light, to whoever, you called BSO, which is like, wow. So then you said you had to call school board police to get them involved. What administrators, or like, did you have to speak to the superintendent, board members? How is it what's the extent of the investigation, and where is it right now?
So I had to speak with school board police. So
Okay.
School board police, as a school investigative unit, they took over the investigation. So at that time, they didn't want us to speak with, they didn't want me to speak with anybody, any school board members, because they didn't want any school board members or any upper management, because they didn't want the process to be tainted.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. So come to find out, they was doing investigations because they had to run cameras, they had to speak to people, and then come to find out that Marcus McGee and all these people, they reached out, but they wasn't cooperating and letting them know who they paid. So they stopped responding to SIU.
Okay, and so did SIU close the investigation? Is the investigation closed now? What's going on
No,
with
the
that?
investigation is still ongoing right now. So the investigation at the time of the start of the investigation, it was only Blanche Ely. Then the investigation moved to say, okay, Board Anderson was used, Coral Glades was used, Coral Springs was used. What other school was it? Deerfield High School was used. It was like 2 or 3 other schools, they were also used. So this investigation now involved, I want to say, about 20 people. It went from one person to probably almost 20 people at this time.
Because the coach wasn't affiliated. Was the coach who you mentioned affiliated with all the other schools too, or?
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
So with that being done, it opened the eyes to, okay, how could one person orchestrate the use of multiple facilities? That's when it came out that, hey, his sister, her name is Rachel Daly. She's over facility rentals, all Broward County Public School facility rentals. He used her to orchestrate and be able to access all of these facilities here in Broward County Public Schools.
So there was no oversight of her either? Because I mean, if you're because I guess if you're in charge of facilities, there's paperwork, or there was just no paperwork. They're just like, well, I got keys, I know who you got to talk to, just go ahead and go over there. So are these people still employed with the Broward County Public Schools, or
at this time they are currently still employed?
On leave pending investigation?
A few people have been put on leave, but the main people, JR and his sister, they have not been they had not been taken from their positions at this time yet.
Still working.
No, still working.
And they allegedly receive money from, but I guess that you said they don't have any more witnesses, any witnesses who's willing to say that they gave them money.
They do now.
And they still working there, still in the building.
At this time, yes.
As you know, that when we talking today right now, as best as you know, they still going to the school.
They're still working every day. See,
so this is what frustrates me a little bit, right? Because I represented someone who had an issue with the school, who had some allegations made, and literally they were at the school pulling that person out of the building to the point where it was such a trickle down effect, they still never got their original position back, right? And those were all allegations which later were determined to be unfounded, right? It was unfounded. Here we go. We got somebody who people says, yes, I paid them money, and they was there, like, and it was proof that people had to get into the building somehow. They got video camera of people affiliated with them going to school. That sounds like a whole bunch of stuff that at the very least They're supposed to be in that book room or something, wherever they send them people when they don't, when they're like been a bad boy and they got their hand caught in a cookie jar or something. They at least take them out the building. But you're telling me, as we sit right now, these people still go to the school system every day and go to work and still collecting checks with nothing?
Yes, that is correct. Because
Okay.
that shows you that there is a bigger issue, because the superintendent, the only person that could stop them from getting pulled right now is the superintendent.
All right. And this is part of why, like, it's problematic, right? Because sometimes people know things, they won't say it, because if they go and tell, they'll probably get in more trouble than the person who actually did something wrong, right? And then it also, to me, shows like how certain people are protected. Because I had a one of the situations I'm familiar with, the person was they were out of school. Everybody knew they were a problem at the school. They didn't report them and just said, well, we just not going to have them here. We're going to go send them over to the black people and let them go give black kids more problems. And that's exactly what happened. And this is one of those unfortunate things. So when I say stuff like, the school board doesn't seem to care about black kids, they want to come at me for things that's unrelated. They come to the jobs that pay me that's unrelated to what I'm talking about here. But here we go. We see something. They know something's wrong, because you got video footage of 12th graders unlocking doors with keys that they're not supposed to have, but then there's no consequence to that. That's why, it's definitely something wrong with the way things are being handled and operated at the school board.
And the problem that I have with that issue is it's always the black schools.
Always the black schools.
And the problem is we have, because there was something not like this, but there was an issue that happened at Monarch High School, which is in Coconut Creek. Principal, assistant principal, everybody involved was removed immediately. But when it comes down to the black school, the black principal, the black employees, and I guess because we got a black superintendent, we got to be put through this facade of foolishness for no reason. Like, if these people have done wrong, we got the evidence, remove them. I don't care if they black, white, or whatever the case may be, but don't leave them in these schools to continue to destroy these schools and steal from us and steal from our students because they're black. And I don't know if you don't want to do anything because they're black and is a black superintendent removing, I don't know what the case may be, but if they done wrong, they done wrong.
Yeah, so that's definitely an interesting take on it. So I don't even see it about like more about the color of the employee that's doing the thing. I just think that they just don't care if something bad is happening to black students, right? Because there are things that happen like at white school, and those administrators are protected. There should be some consequence to them too, but they don't get any consequence unless it's impacting the students. But if anything, whoever these administrators do has any impact on the students at that school, those people gotta go, right? But at black schools, if it could be hurting the students, destroying the students, the worst thing for the students. And I think that's where their inaction, to me, is problematic, because they don't care how the decisions that they make impact the students that are at the schools. And that's why I think it's a problem. I'm not saying to protect employees that are doing bad work, but I think their concern needs to be more about putting people that's there exploiting black students and their resources, So what do you expect, or what do you think is going to be an outcome of this investigation or this situation right now?
So if the investigation goes where it needs to go and they use the evidence that's been brought to them, there's some criminal charges that's most likely coming. What kind of charges are coming? I don't know as of yet, because as we see more things are coming out. Rachel Daly, which is of course, she's over facility rentals. She went and attempted to rent out Pompano Beach Elementary School. And I looked at, she tried to rent it out. I'm looking at it now, her facility use permit. She tried to rent it out, I think, for about 6 or 7 events at night. I looked at the events and they matched up with the Pompano Beach Cultural Arts amphitheater events. So what she was going to do was she was going to rent out the parking lot, charge $40 to $50 for parking. Instead of putting it directly under her name, she put it under the Deerfield Beach Alumni Association name, which she is the CEO of. And I don't understand how, if it's a whole Deerfield Beach Alumni Association and you created the Sunbiz and everything for it in the 501c3, why only you, your brother, the basketball coach, and your sister? Why are y'all the only 3 board members for something that's supposed to be for the Deerfield Beach Alumni Association? How could your family be the only ones that can be on the board? Your 3, the siblings. So she went and tried to rent out the parking lot. Let's say she got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times to make money. And I have the public records here. And again, she was gonna make about $10,000 per night off of charging for parking at those events that was at the amphitheater, which is right across the street from Pompano Beach Elementary School.
And none of that money makes it to the school at all. It's not something that, if there's an alumni or association or booster club, because my kid goes to one of them schools where I don't know if it's the PTA or the booster, whoever they are. When they have like the football games, they charge $5 to park, and they said make a donation, but that money goes and helps the students at the school. So are any as best you know, is any of that money making it to the school and helping the students in any form or fashion?
Not at all. Not from the Deerfield Beach High School Alumni Association. The one that she is in charge of, no, that's only for her 3 board members, her brother, and her sister.
And what about the games that were happening at the school? Was if you know, and if you don't know, please don't make nothing up. Used to maybe help get uniforms for the basketball players at the school, or improve the gym, or
no. Because when it was time to get rings and different
things, the bus to go to the next game.
No, because the community had to pay for that. They kept begging the city of Pompano and all of these people for money to pay for rings, to pay for to go to state, to get this, to get that. So none of this money that they raised, that they illegally rented out the gym, went back into the basketball program. No, not a dollar. This went right into JR and his sister's pockets.
Well, let's see, maybe now that you brought the people in today. It's about like 100 people watching right now on all the different platforms, probably most from your page that are here watching. Maybe this will get out there and they'll actually do something about it, because I find it absolutely stunning that those people are still able to go to work every day and such an allegation is lodged against them. So Nicole Morris is asking, did she collect the money? So was she able to rent out to get parking, even though she reserved the parking lot at the school? Was she able to actually get the space and get money for using that space?
So once we found out about this, the record was denied. So the principal so it was denied. So she was never able to do it. So her first event was going to start on 10/10/25, 10/23, 10/28. So it was going to start in October.
Oh, a couple of weeks. Okay, yes.
Yeah. So once we found out, she took it out.
Okay. All right, but are there any indication that there were some events prior to you exposing some of what's going on? Were they able to use that parking lot before?
No, this is something that this was a new scheme.
That was a new. Oh.
Yeah, this was a new one.
Okay, a new come up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and so someone
there's
says,
no telling what else she's used in the district. We got to find it. So we're still looking, because there's schools everywhere.
Yeah, because someone says, Zara says this happens all the time, not just in Pompano. Nicole Morris has another question. She said, is this why some games were shut down? If you know.
That is correct. So if there were other tournaments, there was other tournaments that were scheduled. Because of this, all tournaments have shut down. The Marcus McGee, they stopped using Broward County Public Schools. After my graduation, it was a halt. When they found out that I knew, it was a complete halt. They just left. They started, I think now they starting to use like the charter schools and the parks and stuff, but they stopped completely using Broward County Public Schools.
Yeah, I think that would make sense, because they especially if SIU was investigating and they wanted to ask them some questions that they didn't want to answer. I can't imagine they were going to go try to get any facilities the right way or the wrong way, since they don't want to answer any questions associated with an investigation.
Correct.
Okay. All right then. All right. Okay. So what do you think? So you think people might end up getting arrested? I don't know if they should or not. I definitely think some people should, be in that library or that book room or something like that while this investigation is going on, and their access to students should be limited as the investigation continues. Let's see what they do. Like you brought it out here. There were some people who were aware of what was going on. Now more folks are aware of it. Maybe there'll be some more pressure on the Broward County Public School to stop just mistreating schools where their people of Black kids are, because it's problematic. Zyra also says there are people who would charge churches and districts would get nothing. Staff gets 3 days suspension, etc. So staff gets suspended for that. I know one of the schools near my house, there's a church there on Sunday, but I suspect I would hope they're doing that on the right way, particularly since they be putting signs out like church on Sunday at 10:30. Like
some people
if they're
do
putting
it
a sign outside, they should be doing it the right way.
But there's a memo, and a lot of principals have sent out since this. A lot of principals have sent out memos to all employees to let them know that facility rentals go through one channel. It goes through the principal. It goes through whoever the principal designee is. Where they not going to have this kind of foolishness going on their campus, because SIU is removing people. They have removed some athletic directors.
But why the people who started the mess ain't removed yet? Why the man whose son was opening back doors still working?
That's a good question. Because it's when I tell you the evidence is there, the video is there, everything is there. I don't know why they haven't removed.
Is he gonna throw his son under the bus and be like, "Nah, I know what that boy was doing. He stole my keys." Like, what are you gonna say?
No, because he came to the event and he knew what was going on. You see him in the body cam footage. He was there.
All right. Well, I see you brought a whole bunch of people, so I want y'all to go ahead, y'all. Since y'all here, subscribe to the page, right, on Racing the Races on Facebook, and also definitely subscribe subscribe to the YouTube channel, right? It's called Racing the Races. He sent the link out to y'all, so if y'all on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to that. And I think on Facebook, you have to follow, right? It's Facebook, like you follow me on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. Okay, those are the words, right? So follow follow us on Facebook, subscribe to YouTube, so we can continue to bring you this content. But listen, I'm telling you, I'm getting messages on my phone. I guess people don't want to have their name out here in the public space talking about like, my situation wasn't even close to this, and I'm out of my job, and I'm suspended and reassigned, and all kinds of stuff. And folks had to hire lawyers to defend themselves against accusations that it ain't close to this. The evidence ain't as overwhelming as this, but yet those folks still get there. And the fact that when you said those events that were supposed to take place on October 10th, October 23rd, and all of those days, the fact that they were canceled suggests that that's suspect, right? Because if you were asking for the permits to do it and it was on the up and up, why you need to go cancel it now all of a sudden, right? Like that raises red flags that definitely require some sort of investigation, and this person should not have access to facilities like that. You know what I mean? So,
and not just facilities, she's actually orchestrating right now, because she went to the city of Pompano and she's orchestrating a deal between the school board and the city with tearing down a school in Pompano and building housing for all Broward County Public School employees, affordable housing for them.
Say that again. I might have missed something. Like, well, I don't understand. She doing what now?
She's in charge of the business deal, so business development, where she is working with the city of Pompano and Broward County Public Schools to tear down Dave Thomas East Campus. There's a school in Pompano, Dave Thomas East Campus, that they don't use anymore, and they're going to work with the city of Pompano with building affordable housing for Broward County Public Schools employees. So she got her hand in, she's a general contract, she's a licensed general contractor and everything. So she got her hands in a lot of pots right now, and a person that's going through something like this shouldn't be involved in any business deals and like she said at the city of Pompano, this is personal to her. Yeah, I know. I know.
I mean, it's personal because it might be her city that she cares about, and she's interested in the well-being of the city that she's from, living, working, or something like that. Man, that's probably why it's personal.
Can't say, as a school board employee and it's a business deal, you can't make it personal. It can't be personal.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it could be personal in that you want to make sure it's the right thing that's happening for that city. I just suspect someone that was trying to make $10,000 a night, that person might be a little bit different, right? To the point where, you know, I'm not making no accusations or nothing like that, but it would raise some concerns that they will, you know, I would be concerned having somebody having that much access to a business deal. And if they were in fact involved with having tournaments for years and years and the money didn't make it to the school, I would be concerned about like them not finding some sort of way to also profit from this in a personal way. That would be concerning to me.
Correct.
All right. So we have someone that says, can Mr. King current fraud case also be discussed? How, and this is what they say, him and his school have an active case for over $100,000. That's what they're saying. That you have a case, and then they said we need to ensure we are addressing all aspects of schools and administrators in Broward County. Why does YUC have an active fraud case? So I guess they're coming for you too, since that you were coming for some people.
So I can speak briefly on that.
And if it's and listen, if it's pending litigation,
that's what
I would have asked you to speak on that because I'm an attorney. Yeah. So if it's something that's pending litigation, then I wouldn't want you to say anything regarding that if it's pending litigation, particularly because they can pull the video and start talking about what you said to me here. Yeah. So I ain't your lawyer, but I'm gonna just tell you as a lawyer.
Yeah. So we
always want people to just shut up.
Yeah, we have. I actually got a good legal team that's on top of that right now, and we're working with the Department of Education to rectify and clear that up. It was just some mismanagement of let's just say some student records, and everything is looking real good with that. So my legal team is working on that, and that'll be cleared up within the next 6 months.
Okay. And listen, and these kind of things happen, right? Like that paperwork just get to be too much, right? It's just one missed thing. Somebody ain't to work that day, and something doesn't get filed, and all of that, right? So I'm not, raising any defenses for you or anything like that. But those are the kind of things that just happen when you're dealing in a situation where there's a lot of paperwork involved.
And just to speak on some of that, it's a lot of that is Broward County Public Schools issue. And we have a lot of the private schools. We have this issue where students come and enroll into our school, and Broward schools never take them out. So we have to fight back and forth with Broward County Public Schools with the what is it called? The withdrawal dates. They want to keep them on the roster
until the money date kicks in, right? That week where they're like, you got to come to school, right? And so they want to keep them there. And as soon as that date passes, then those students are shipped off somewhere else, and they get the funding that they don't have to refund to anybody. So I'm familiar with that too, because I've had cases where kids were in charters in schools, and they do that. Once they get their funding and the funding is secured, they don't care nothing about keeping anybody who they may believe to be problematic. All right. There are lots of defamatory remarks made today about a lot of people. Okay. So I believe you stand on what it is that you said.
The facts the video is there. You can watch the video. It is what it is. It's there. We have the facility records. I only speak about what we have from the school board, which is public records. Everything that's going on, it's public records. All of this is public records. All the facility use permits, all this stuff, the Deerfield Beach Alumni Association, Sunbiz information, all this is public records, where it's her, Rachel Daly, Tasha Gray, and Henry McNabb. Those are siblings. The information is there.
All right, so I don't know if Mr. or Mrs. Femfleet want to state what they think was defamatory, because the defense to defamation is truth. So if it's true, then nobody was defamed and there were no defamatory comments that were made. So if there's something in particular that they think was not honest, then they could, that was defamatory, they can go ahead and say it. Now, what else? What it said, per the case records, you are hiring friends and family as teachers at your school and having them receive payroll from a third party who is now suing you because they weren't teachers. Okay, I think the word allegedly should be used more often. That might help. Okay, all right, allegedly.
Well, I can't say allegedly because
when you have receipts,
it's not alleged. I was there. I was there. I was there when they used the gym.
Because the conversation was specifically, this conversation started specifically on you reserved the gym to have a graduation. And when you went back, your stuff was broken and you were confronted by someone that said they had a basketball tournament in the gym that you were supposed to be using for your graduation. So this is what the conversation was about. And then the conversation goes on. And as a result of that coming to light, the investigation showed that this was happening in multiple locations. So our conversation started about a personal experience of Mr. King when he reserved the facility and was confronted by people who said, why you here? And he wants to know why they there. Right. So this is what our conversation is about. So all the other things that's being discussed to try to muddy the waters, to distract from what actually happened, that ain't what this is about, right? Because what Mr. King was talking about was a personal incident. That's why I invited him to come on the show to talk about it, because it ain't nothing that somebody told him that he heard in the streets. This is something that specifically happened to him, to the point where he called BSO because they ruined his $1,200. Somebody ruined his $1,200 sign and impacted his ability to have the graduation look the way he wanted to, because they had to go and set everything up. So this is where it comes. And as a result of that investigation, it was determined that there were things happening at other schools and people were being paid directly because the schools weren't being paid directly. So that's what this conversation is about. So if we want to come here and talk, people want to talk about other things related to Mr. King and some sort of investigation, you're welcome to come on with your receipts. Just slide into my DMs, let me know, come with your receipts, and you can have your conversation too. The platform will be open to you. But this conversation was specifically about an incident that was personal to Mr. King, that opened up and exposed some of the things that happens in Broward County and at Broward County Public Schools. And I'm telling you, a lot of people ain't surprised about what it is that they're hearing, because we're being told that it's not only in Pompano that these things were taking place. Okay, so yes, you may have some other things that you want to add, but we're not going to muddy up the fact that what Mr. King said happened didn't in fact happen. Yes, but beyond that, I would say alleged, just in my opinion. Okay, I understand that you want us to say allegedly, but he was talking about an experience that he had firsthand knowledge of. Okay, so this is where we at. So I told you I wouldn't try to keep you more than 30 minutes. Now I'm at about 40 minutes with you. What do you hope to see come out as a result of this? And then even the things that I talked about the young man at Blanche Ely that was hit by the coach, I don't need to say that allegedly happened. That happened on video too. I mean, I ain't say he may have the 400-pound man might have a defense on why he was putting hands on a kid that was 100 and something pounds. He might have a legal defense to that. When you talk about the criminal part of it, I'm just trying to talk about what actually people saw happen on the video. So I didn't say he was guilty of nothing. I'm just saying the video showed that a guy that was about 400 pounds put hands on a young kid, and the people still got their jobs all over there. And to me, that boils down to not caring about what happened to black kids. And I say that again, and that ain't no allegedly nothing. It's enough evidence with the selling of the schools and repurposing the schools and not caring that they want to have elementary school kids cross big streets to get to another school, but they're going to leave schools over here open when everybody got 2, 3, 4 cars parked in front of their house and they could drop their kids off a mile away. So yeah, I'm on that today. So I'm gonna let you close out. You get the last word.
So I honestly don't want to see people go to jail behind this. I just feel like people shouldn't be in certain positions of power when they can't handle it. So they just need to be removed from their positions and put somewhere else where they can be used effectively and they can be monitored. But having master keys and being over certain things, they just don't need to be there. They don't need to be there. I hate that it's going in a criminal way, but sometimes you do what you do. You suffer the consequences. There's some things that I've done, and I had to suffer the consequences. It is what it is, and I hate that my event had to. And I'm like, oh my God, I really didn't want to have issues with Ely, but I hate that my event had to shed light to all of this.
I mean, sometimes that's probably the way it needed to come out, because one of the things I say too is that the community already have too many pimps, right? And we don't need no more. And I'm not saying people shouldn't profit from their purpose and all that kind of stuff, but then when you're doing it at the expense of others and you're not really giving back, I just have a problem with that, right? So again, if it was something where they were buying the rings and paying for state and paying for the buses and not coming to the community, I'm not saying it's all right, but at least the people who they were using, exploiting, whatever word, allegedly using, exploiting, or whatever, was benefiting in some way, people might be able to take it a little bit. But you out here just taking stuff for your own personal gain. I guess allegedly it was for their own personal gain, because maybe they're gonna come with some receipts on how they donated to some charity or something like that. Maybe they're doing that, but that's a problem. Like you have to find a way to. I don't think we need any more pimps. We don't need, the community doesn't need anybody else that's there solely to take from them and not give back.
Gotcha.
The way that they're not profiting from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, someone said past events, softball field and auditorium. Check DBHS. Is that Deerfield Beach High School? Past events, softball field and auditorium. There's some stuff.
So the event that they're talking about is the Alumni Association. She rented out, of course, the back of the school for the alumni weekend, and I have that application here as well. And we looked at her application, and she paid a fee of $1,000 something. I have to get the exact number, and I looked back at her application to see that the $1,000 something that she did pay, she had that refunded back to her. So how she did that and how she was able to use it for free, use the school for free, I don't know. But yeah, she received a hefty. So she paid $960, and she received all of that money back.
From who?
From Broward County Public Schools. So from the Facilitron system, because her event was on the 18th of what day that was? The 18th of October. So that was for the alumni picnic. Yes. I'm looking at it right here. That was the alumni picnic. So she paid $960 and she received a refund of $951.72 for her event. The only thing she couldn't get back was the payment processing fee of $8.33. So this is what she got back for her event. So, and then we look back at Blanchard High School. Blanchard High School had to pay the same amount for their event, and we got nothing back. Okay. So we don't understand how, pretty much how did she get present, how she was able to get her money back. But again, she's over facility rental, so she can do whatever she wants to do.
Okay. All right. Thank you all for coming. So don't forget to like the page, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. I suspect there's going to be a part 2 because it looked like I'm going to get some smoke behind this interview. So some people going to want to come talk to me. Come on over. I'm here. Come talk to me. Some people about to be big mad, and yeah. And it's okay. It's okay. Because these are things that, if we know, then people could do better, right? And things could get done, because at the end of the day, we are here about doing what's best for students in the school system. They're losing kids for all different kind of reasons, and we don't need to add, not being properly supervised by everybody else, to the problems that the school system already have. And yeah, so Last words. We gonna go because I kept you longer than I wanted to. I'm gonna be right at 45. I did say 30 to 45, so you got like 8 seconds, and then we're gonna
thank
be
you for having me on here. And
well, thank
you
you
know,
for coming.
whenever it's time for part 2, I'm here. I'm here
All
for
right, so I'm gonna see what they gonna say to me because, like I said, I'm getting some messages, I'm getting some comments. Somebody they gonna probably sue you for defamation, something like that.
Tell them they're gonna have to sue my good legal team.
You might have a defamation lawsuit coming because they said you out here talking some lies. But what I'm saying is that the conversation was about something that you had firsthand knowledge and it was your experience that we were talking about here today, and other things were discovered as a result of that. All right, so you have yourself a good night, and then we're gonna talk some more.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, good night, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, y'all, Sandra Sheffred, host of Racing the Races. Go ahead, please subscribe to our YouTube channel called Racing the Races. Subscribe to our TikTok page, Racing the Races, and like us on Facebook and Instagram, Racing the Races. Go ahead, support the page. I'm tired of getting crazy comments from these white dude trolls that's mad. Like, why y'all mad in the comments now? So come on, y'all, those who are fans of the show, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, comment on the video. Tell us what it is what else you would like to see, instead of me having to read all these trolling comments. But I see it as a compliment because I showed up in their feed and I really don't know who they are. And since they're not challenging the content is good. They want to make personal attacks, but that's okay. So I need y'all to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube page, subscribe to TikTok. All of it is called Racing the Races, and go ahead and like us on Facebook and Instagram.